Hello, budgeting friends. How are you doing? Welcome to Deborah's Journey. My name is Deborah, and on this channel, I am in the process of paying off a $50,000 student loan debt. I also cashed up and budget. If this is content that interests you, I hope you consider joining me and subscribing to my channel. Welcome back to all of you who have been supporting me since the beginning. I appreciate all of you dearly. So today I'm going to be sharing my sinking funds update. I call my funds Lifesaver funds, but because everybody refers to them as sinking funds, or at least most people, I keep that name. And these funds are really designed to cover certain categories. They're like little mini savings accounts for categories like Christmas and birthdays, car maintenance, home maintenance. And the idea is to save in the category and spend out of that category. And I have been just loving using sinking funds probably about 4 years now that I discovered sinking funds, and they have been life-changing. I can't tell you the amount of savings that I've had since I've been using sinking funds. I've really been able to keep money separated in different categories, use it for those purposes, and actually not have to pull money from my account using credit cards. And so I've been able to save a lot of money. So the sinking fund method works. It really does. For those who may think that you have to have a ton of sinking funds, you don't. You have whatever works for you. So if you only want to have 2 or 3 sinking funds, that's your business. If you want to have 50, that's your choice as well. It's really up to each individual person. But I have found that using sinking funds gives me a great deal of peace of mind, and especially because I know that the funds are there for that purpose. Well, I could ramble on all I want, but let's get started. And I want to share with you what happened in the quarter, and that's the first quarter of 2024 from January 1st to March 31st. And so each category I will share how much money I added to those accounts, what I spent, and what my final balance is. So let's get started. So the first category is travel or vacation. I started the quarter at $845.30. I added $260.24, and I spent $50. So my final balance is $1,055.54. I did go out of town in February. I spent a small amount out of my sinking fund. I did have money that was already in my account that I used for some of that travel. So I only had to use a small amount, and I have additional money for the next time I travel. Taxes. So it is tax time. I started the quarter at $1,310.98. I have added $829.50, and I have spent zero from this account. And so my ending balance is $2,140.48. So this money has been saved specifically for taxes. I'm so happy that I've been able to save a nice amount. But this money will be going away probably within the next week or two. And it just gives me so much peace. I can actually breathe freely knowing that this money is here to cover any expenses I have for my taxes. Home maintenance. I started at $910.47. I added $150.05, and I've spent $250. So my ending balance is $810.52. So I did have a couple of expenses, home related during the quarter. And so I did spend more than I added. But again, I did have a nice amount in there. I am happy that I still have $800 in the account, and the new quarter has just started. Christmas. So I started with nothing in there because I spent everything last year. I added $150.03. I've spent nothing. And so that's my final balance. And so, of course, this account, I don't really start spending until November, maybe. And sometimes I wait until December. So this year, I'm hoping I will be able to save $1,000 in my Christmas category. That's my goal. Car maintenance. Okay, so $955.33 is the beginning balance. I added $139.71. I spent $850, and I have a final balance of $245.04. Phew. So, guys, I spent a lot of money in car maintenance this quarter. I had a lot of things. I had an oil change. I had to get new brake pads. I think it was the front and the back brakes, so I got both done. And I had a crack in my windshield, so I had to get a new windshield, and my deductible was $500 for that. So it was a hefty quarter for my car maintenance. I practically depleted this account. Luckily, I was able to still add some money. And so now I have a balance of 245. However, I do need to bulk this up a little more because I think having at least $500 works for me. So I am not happy that I have this amount. And it's already time for another oil change. So I am going to have to really think about how much money I'm going to need to add to this account. Medical dental, I started at $600.38. I added $145.53. I spent $30, and I have an ending balance of $715.91. So I only used $30. That was for a copay for a procedure. And so that wasn't too bad. And I still have a nice amount in my medical dental account. And my other final online account is my online miscellaneous. I started at $80. I added 55, didn't spend anything. So my ending balance is $135. And this account is another buffer account. It's one of those accounts where I can transfer money from different categories if I need it. And it's really just a fill-in account. And so it's worked. I haven't had to really use it, but it's here if I need it. So those are all of my online sinking funds. They're in the blue. And then as I move into the yellow sinking funds, those are my cash sinking funds. So that's the difference. So all in all, I did spend quite a bit, but I added a nice amount into my sinking funds as well. Okay, so let's go to the cash sinking funds. My first one is birthdays. I started at $85. I added $150 and I spent $60. And so my ending balance was $175. So $60, I did spend that on a birthday for a family member. I normally use this fund for my sons for their birthdays. I like to give them a nice gift for their birthday. And I have time to save because their birthdays are in September and October. I have two sons, so one in September, one in October. So this is a great start. Miscellaneous, I started at $255. I added $230. I spent $205. And so my ending balance is $280. And this sinking fund covers any other fund that I may or may not have. So, for example, if one of my funds is short, I can use some of the miscellaneous money so I don't end up completely depleting my sinking fund. I would hate to go down to zero in any of my sinking funds. I really don't want to. So this miscellaneous fund helps me. Sometimes I have to pull money from it. And I enjoy having a miscellaneous category. I think it's a very important, critical category in your sinking funds. Sam's is my annual membership fee. So I started at $10. I added $29. Haven't spent anything because the fee is not due until December. And so I have an ending balance of $39. So once this gets to about $55, it's fully funded. And I really don't add any more to it because it's just covering the annual fee. So I should be able to be done with this at the end of the next quarter. Pet expenses, I started at $45. I added $70. Haven't spent anything yet, and I have 115 remaining. Blessings giveaway. Okay, so I do like to have giveaways. I have quite a few of them. I started at $10. I've added $140. I spent $100, and so I have an ending balance of $50. PO box, I started at $80. I added $45, spent $70, and my ending balance is $55. So I did have to renew my PO box in January. And so I believe it's coming up at the end of April. I probably have to pay again. So I need to add a little more to this so I have enough money to cover that expense that's going to be coming up shortly. Home maintenance cash. I do keep some cash around for minor, very inexpensive home maintenance projects, especially if I just need some cash. So I don't really want to keep a lot of money in here because I'll move it to my online account where it can actually earn some interest. But I do like to keep a little cash on hand. So I added $10. I haven't spent any of it, so I have an ending balance of $110 in that account. So those are my cash sinking funds. And then I have my Cashback. So I do have a couple of credit cards that give me cash back. I also have Rakuten, so I get cash back from them. And then I have another service that I use. It's called My Points, and it's a platform where you can actually buy things, you can take surveys, you can do all sorts of things. I'm going to link them in my description, but you can earn points and eventually get PayPal credits, and you can actually cash it out. I'm only including accounts that I can actually cash out. I'm not including gift cards or credits. So this is actual cash money that is available to me right now. So that's an additional $326.73. So let's see how much money I was able to save in my sinking funds. So I started the quarter at $5,614.19. I added $2,404.06, and I spent $1,615. So my ending balance is $6,403.25. So that's pretty good. I saved a lot more than I spent, but I spent quite a bit. And that's why sinking funds should be used to spend, okay? Don't be afraid to spend the money. That's what it's for. You just keep adding to it. And I make it a point every time I get paid, I add to my sinking funds. I was able to save $789.06 more than I did in the last quarter. And so that is excellent. So my question is to you is, do you use sinking funds? And what is your favorite sinking fund? Let me know in the comments. All right, well, I hope everybody enjoyed my overview for quarter one of 2024. And let's see what happens in the next quarter. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all soon. Take care.